Whoa, look at that!
Freewheeling.
Oh, that's a killer picture.
We're going in search of the spirit. My name is Gannon.
And I'm Wyatt. We're twin brothers and avid explorers.
As a flight attendant, our mom traveled the world, and she nurtured the spirit of adventure in us since we were young.
We're just like other kids our age. We go to class, do homework, and play sports. But what we love to do most is travel. No matter how remote, wild, or dangerous a destination, we're always up for a new adventure.
So join us on our quest for the kind of knowledge you can't get from a textbook. The world is our classroom.
And we're bringing you along.
This is Bella calling Pacific Yellowfin. Pacific Yellowfin. Come in, Pacific Yellowfin.
Pacific Yellowfin, bud. Go ahead.
This sounds like a man named Jack.
You got that right.
Good old Jack.
When I was first told we were going to the Great Bear Rainforest, the first question I asked myself was, where is the Great Bear Rainforest?
He wasn't an A student in geography.
We were told that it's a magical place home to one of the most beautiful creatures on Earth, the spirit bear.
Spirit bear, Wyatt. Come on. All the rage.
Wow. That's like something you don't see every day.
After doing some research, we learned that it was located on the western coast of British Columbia.
It stretches all the way from Vancouver Island to Alaska.
It's big, 21 million acres, which makes it the largest temperate rainforest left on the planet.
We started our journey in Bella Bella, a small town just off the coast of the Great Bear Rainforest.
Bella Bella is the name of the tribe that lives here.
And then we boarded the Pacific Yellowfin.
The Pacific Yellowfin was built in 1942 and used to set mines outside of U.S. harbors during World War II.
But the coolest thing I thought was the engine room. It's the exact engines from 1942, and the captain just had the ship remodeled, so it looks just like new.
We went to go see Janie, who is a whale researcher, and Janie's like the Jane Goodall of whale research.
Jane Goodall is a researcher who dedicated her life to chimpanzees. So we decided to take a visit and meet her.
They now realize that these blue whales in the Atlantic Ocean is like a universe to them. But how we see it as being so vast and huge, for them, it's not so big.
Janie had set up a underwater recording studio. She had set a bunch of microphones underwater and actually recorded whales communicating with each other.
So the males do all the singing. They sing these long, beautiful songs. It is a song. When you listen to it, they'll actually go from one verse to another verse to another verse. When they get to the end, the whale will go back and start right from the very beginning.
Whales communicate by singing songs. I'm not kidding. They really sing songs. It was really nice because we were able to hear some of the recordings she had, and it was a great experience for all of us.
The first thing we did when we got there is we went whale watching.
Hang on.
Yeah,
Sit down.
Problem is, I have no idea where to go.
That's why I think we should wait.
Keep our eyes peeled because these guys only come up for 3 blows and then they go down again.
It's like Jaws.
I just think I saw something.
I think I just saw something too.
Oh, there it is. Oh, right there.
Some of these whales were the size of dumpster trucks.
More like school buses.
There you are.
Here he goes, its tail.
Whales breathe through a blowhole, and when they breathe, they shoot out a mist, and that mist literally is the worst smell I've ever smelled.
That smell was probably worse than sardines wrapped in gym socks and stuck in a locker for 2 years.
It smelled pretty much like Gannon.
So these guys come all the way from California.
The
They're up here to feed like crazy. That's all they're doing is feeding. and they'll go back to California and mate and won't eat for 6 months.
So beautiful.
You guys just got real lucky there.
G-Man catching some Z's before he goes bear hunting.
Every night, you get the yellowfin and we'd take it into an inlet, and then the next morning we'd go out on a boat.
Fairly big lake up there where that waterfall's coming out of.
Norm has guided in the Great Bear Rainforest for 10 years. I thought, if we're gonna walk into bear country, this is the guy that I want guiding us. Our guide Norm is really calm. He seems laid back.
Chicks dig bear guides.
Yeah, I think you have to be a little bit crazy to go out in the woods and look for bears.
That's gorgeous. Oh, look, another eagle. Oh, it's like Eagle County.
There's lots of wildlife in the Great Bear Rainforest. There's grizzlies, moose, black bears, a bunch of different fish, and a bunch of different birds.
What do you think you're gonna see?
The professional.
Yeah.
Looking at coming into this river, and there's a lot of salmon in this river. We're actually in here at high tide right now, and I have already seen probably 3 or 4 salmon carcasses. So that's a really good sign. Lots of eagles lined up on the rivers. We'll work our way up the shoreline and try and get to those falls and see what's happening up there.
We're searching for grizzlies. Grizzly bear.
A great spot to fish for the bears too.
And when we see a bear, what do we need to do and what shouldn't we do?
If we do happen to see a bear, then we'll take that opportunity just to observe the bear and see what his patterns are and what his behavior seems to be. If he did happen to attack, then you'd have to drop and get down on your knees and get into a very defensive position.
Holy crap.
If a bear came too close, we had a bear banger, which is pretty much a loud firecracker. I wasn't 100% confident that that was going to scare away a grizzly. I also wasn't confident that our little can of bear mace was going to scare away a grizzly. I think searching for a bear is one of the most grueling processes because you go through this dense forest and you see signs of them everywhere. You know they're out there. There's chewed up salmon, but you don't know where they are.
There's a stump here.
That's what kind of makes it intimidating is there could be something right behind you and you wouldn't know where it is.
What's good is the tide's going to start dropping again and exposing more of the river, which will make it a bit easier for the bears to start feeding on the salmon. Laid down here. It's a very active bear spot. This is a really nice spot here because you can see there's been a lot of bear trails through here. Bears have lied down. There's another spot where they just curled up on the edge over there.
We trekked up several inlets and we didn't see anything. I personally think it's because Gannon couldn't keep his mouth shut.
Like to eat some delicious berries, maybe nutrients for them.
You know what I think scared the bears away? Wyatt snoring.
We hadn't seen a single bear, so we decided to go to the First Nation people of Hartley Bay to see if they had any advice to find a bear.
people of Hartley Bay sang and danced and served us more food than I've ever seen in my life. I felt honored to be part of their celebration.
On our way out from the feast, we bumped into two bear guides who told us where we should go to find the spirit bear. Our entire time we had been searching Princess Royal Island, but in reality, Gribble Island, which is smaller and has just as many spirit bears, we had a higher chance of finding them there. So the next morning we woke up and we went on to that island.
You find it?
Spirit bear!
That's a burial site, and there's Dentwood box up on the shelf there, and we're in raven territory, so it's most likely a raven burial box. It's beyond 300 years old. Right on that point's good. We'll have to trim the motor up.
Where are the boys?
They're out at the front there.
First Nation people believe that the raven turned every 10th bear white to remind us that the earth was once covered in ice. They can grow to be up to 500 pounds and live up to 20 years. So when we got to the spot, I mean, we pretty much just waited and waited. It was getting colder and we decided, all right, we're gonna pack up. I'd pretty much given up on finding a bear.
And that was the whole reason we went to the Great Bear Rainforest, to find the spirit bear. We'd been in the forest for a while. It seemed like forever, and we didn't see a bear.
So there I was, sitting in the middle of the woods, just half asleep on my bag, and I just remember somebody saying, "Look, there it is." And I jumped up really quickly. There it was the spirit bear.
Finally, our luck paid off. We finally saw the spirit bear.
All I remember is just my camera making this machine gun fire type noise because I was taking so many pictures. I had to just take a second to pull my camera down and really take it all in through my eyes.
This bear was truly remarkable. The cool thing about a spirit bear is that it's actually a black bear.
It's a black bear that has a gene deficiency that makes it white. Scientists believe that there's only about 400 to 500 spirit bears left in the world, and to see one just was extremely special. And then, about 50 feet up the river, we saw another spirit bear.
Seeing a bear that close truly made the trip.
It's those moments that make all these trips that we go on really worth it.
To a successful spirit bear sighting. Oh yeah.
Cheers. Thank you, Norm.
If I get anything out of this, it's just the opportunity to travel to these crazy places and see these amazing things that not a lot of people get to see. The Great Bear Rainforest does have a lot of threats against it. There's extreme overfishing, there's clear cutting. But to me, I mean, the most important threat is the pipeline that's being proposed.
I think everybody notices this, that in one day here, you could see an orca, a humpback whale, a seal, a sea lion. While you're watching the salmon spawn, you could see a bear, an eagle in the tree. This area is so alive and so pristine. So not only would you devastate the whale population, you could devastate this entire area if there was ever an oil spill.
A place that's so beautiful and home to one of the most magical creatures I've ever seen needs to be protected.
These are stellar sea lions.
Ah, there we go, Cap. There he is again. What? Fire! We're a little bit outbound.
Oh, you're filming.
Through the whole entire trip, I feared of being eaten.
Where's?
Oh, look at that!
Getting all this on
Just a little documentary.
on CNN.